happy Saturday. Good morning. At least it's morning for me. I don't know when you're watching this video. Could be really late at night. What are you doing? Oh, what am I doing? Looking at the wrong part of the camera again. You're over here. So today I wanted to talk to everybody about how to get siblings to get along when you are about to have sibling number 2 or maybe even number 3, 4. Point is, you're having a new baby, and how do you get that older child to get along with the younger child? It's actually not as hard as it seems. One of the biggest things on how to do this is that it's all about normalizing that baby before they even come out. So my kids are about 15 months apart. What that means is, before my son turned 1, I was pregnant with our daughter. So, it was a moment. I mean, in the beginning, I was just excited to have baby number 2 coming. And then down the line, it was like, oh my God, like everything's about to change for him. And how do I really make sure that he's ready for this? And I got really concerned because he was just so in love with both of us, and we all had such wonderful times together. And I thought, I'm such a bad mom. I'm bringing another child here and he's going to think we don't love him anymore. But here we are. Our daughter is 6 months old, and she's very, very loved, very attached to me in particular. Our son is very attached to his father. And I mean, he's happy and loved, and she's happy and loved. And there was a little bit of an adjustment, but we did things before we had a baby, our babies. In other words, our son was as prepared as we could get him to be for a 1-year-old to have another little sister. So some of the things that we did, well, if your child is really, really young, they may not understand that you're pregnant. If they are old enough to understand you're pregnant, well, that's kind of step 1. You need to talk to them about the fact that you're pregnant. But start when you're showing. And unfortunately, things like miscarriages can happen. So in my opinion, it's probably best not to tell any of the children that you're pregnant until you are in a safer place in regards to miscarriages. In other words, probably second trimester is a better place to actually say something about it when you're past the higher risk time frame. But if you feel like you want to say it earlier, that's completely fine. But do understand, a child that is maybe 3 and younger may not fully understand pregnancy without being able to see that belly. So when you do have a belly, you start pointing at belly and you say baby. It's just simple, but it's true. You start saying that there's a baby in there. If they know what a belly is, that helps too. If they don't, you can just point and say baby. Now, our son for a little while was pointing at a bunch of people's bellies and saying baby. But then I was taking baby dolls and showing a baby. And one of the things that they say to do is to read them books about how they're going to be a big brother or a big sister, and talk about your baby and show that baby doll. But one of the things I did in addition to that was I actually tried to walk around with the baby doll and show how a newborn would be with mommy and daddy. Cuddled with mommy and daddy, giving it kisses from mommy and daddy, letting the older sibling hold the baby, making sure that they understand how to hold baby. It doesn't mean you're gonna allow them to do that when baby actually comes out, but it's a matter of allowing them to see that the baby's part of the family and it's part of them too. It's a member and something that they can love in the family. So that's a huge thing, is that it's about making it a part of the family, not just an addition, or bigger so, allowing them to feel like it's a replacement in the family. So getting those books to read about it with them. If it's an older child, I really recommend reading books to them. But if it's not an older child and it was like my son, I really recommend that baby doll and actually showing them a baby. Now, today, I will admit there's a little bit of an issue in regards to my son thinking that his little sister might be also a doll, but he does understand that she's part of the family, she's here, and he's excited to be with her. We say, here's the baby, give the baby a kiss. Do you want to give the baby a kiss? And we also don't force anything now that she's out. Just because they're brother and sister does not mean that you have to, or sister and sister, brother and brother, whatever the case is, you don't have to force relationships immediately. Relationships develop over time. Relationships with mom and baby or dad and baby develops over time. You get to know your child when your baby comes around, and it's the same thing for siblings. They have to get to know each other. So don't force it. At the same time, don't do nothing about it either. When he would be curious about his little sister when she came out, I would allow him to be near her. I kept holding her, but I would allow him to be near her, to touch her. I knew that children very young are likely to poke at the eyes. So if I saw him going for that, I would talk about gentle touch, and I'd show him how to do that. But this is all after the fact. Before the fact, another thing to do is actually talking about how the baby will change the lives, but how much things will stay the same, especially for older kids. They need to understand that in regards to replacement, they're not getting replaced, and that's one of the ways how things will stay the same and how things will change, but for the better. Another thing is involving that child when you're starting to do that nursery and picking out clothes. If you're doing shopping on the internet right now, shop on the internet and have that child with you and say, which one should we get for your baby brother or baby sister? These things help. Or the toys, you can go through all the toys and say, which one do you want to give to your baby brother or sister? Things like that in regards to engaging the child in being involved in this baby coming. And that's how you get them to love that sibling before they even come out. It's an exciting thing. Their sibling is coming, so be excited. Show them how exciting it is. And again, still big on those books. And I think really that's like the main things for before. For after, that's something that's also very important. That first little bit of time, if you're going to keep your older child away for a moment, maybe a week, that's fine. But try and bring that child into your home and set up those routines sooner rather than later. And here's why. Because if you don't, it's going to be more awkward for that child to come back. Maybe they were at grandma's house, maybe they were at friend's house, relative's house. But if you can have them and you have the routine start to be incorporated, their daily lives will start to feel normal and everything will actually start to meld together a lot better. We brought our son home just a few days after the hospital, and that was a big deal for us because it was going to be difficult, but we wanted to make sure that he knew we loved him, we missed him, we wanted him to see his sister, and then to get back into the norm. When baby arrives also, try and stick to the older child's routine. I know that's hard, but try and do it. You want to continue to make their lives as normal as possible. And last but not least, this actually came from a friend of ours who had children also very close together. They said you get a present from the new baby when you actually go and see your older child, new baby got them a present, and you give the older child that present when they meet for the first time. So if they're coming to the hospital, you bring that toy or something really awesome, just to make them feel special, that's coming from the baby. If it's an older child, obviously they know it didn't really come from the baby, but either way, it's the thought that counts, and they'll know what you're trying to do. And if you happen to be an actual sibling watching this and you're worried because your mom or dad is having another child, you need to know, as a mom, I love all of my children exactly the same. It does not change the love for you just because they're having another child. All it means is that you have another person to love in your life. It is a blessing, it is wonderful, and as an adult, I can say, and to you parents who might be feeling that guilt right now, it is a wonderful thing. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. If you're pregnant right now, moms or dads who are nervous about how this is going to go, it's a good thing. I know it sounds scary. You maybe wanted this and now it's happening and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I don't know anymore because my child is crying when I told them and they hate me already. But you guys work on it together. You keep talking, keep that communication open. You do the things I'm mentioning on trying to keep them very involved, even if they kind of hate it. But also give them a little bit of a moment to process it for themselves. But keep trying to involve them. And afterwards, if they want to hold baby, let them hold baby. As long as they're old enough to hold baby. If they're not, sit down with them so that they can touch and give baby a kiss. And those things are likely to happen when they see how loved the baby is and they are. So you give the baby a kiss, but you give them a kiss too. So it's things like that. Anyways, I hope this helps everybody with how to handle having a sibling coming home. And like I said, to any of you who might be that sibling, congratulations. To your to the moms and dads, congratulations. And to anybody just interested, it's a great thing to have more than one child. It really is. Don't let anybody else tell you different if you want more than one child. Oh, well, that's it for this Saturday. Next Saturday, well, I'll just let you find out then. I'm so happy to talk to you all. Remember, this is from Gbrlife.com, and you can actually go to the website of Gbrlife.com. You can also see the rest of the vlogs on my actual blog page at gbrlife.com or here on YouTube. And Gbrlife is my actual subscriber name, my channel name. And if you're interested in a podcast, I have that, GBR Life of Crimes. Coming soon will be another podcast. Can't wait to tell you guys a whole lot more about it. But until then, please check out any and all blogs, vlogs, or podcasts from GBR Life, and everything can be found on my website. Again, see you next Saturday. Bye.